Do you struggle with managing your finances? Ever find yourself scratching your head wondering where all your money went at the end of the month? You're not alone. We're diving into the world of budgeting, a crucial tool to master the art of personal finance. Our mission today is to walk you through a step-by-step guide to creating a budget that is tailored just for you. So, if you're ready to take control of your finances, keep watching. First things first, you need to know how much you're making. It's not just about that paycheck from your 9-to-5 job. Understanding your income means taking into account every single dollar that comes your way. That freelance gig on the side, your weekend part-time job, or even that Etsy store you started for fun, they all count. To calculate your monthly income, start by jotting down your regular salary or wages. Then add any additional earnings from your side hustles or gigs. Don't forget passive income streams like dividends, interest, or rental income. If these incomes fluctuate, an average of the last 6 months can give you a ballpark figure. Remember, the idea is to get a comprehensive and accurate picture of your income. This becomes the foundation on which we'll build our budget. It's like knowing how much clay you have before you start sculpting. Great, now that you know your income, let's move on to understanding your expenses. Now let's focus on where your money is going. Understanding the flow of your finances is like putting together a puzzle. Each expense is a piece of that puzzle. And when you start tracking where your money is going, the bigger picture starts to emerge. First, let's talk about the different categories of expenses. We can break them down into 3 main types: fixed, variable, and discretionary expenses. Fixed expenses are those that remain the same each month. Think of your rent or mortgage, car payments, and insurance premiums. These are the expenses that are typically non-negotiable and form the base of your financial obligations. Variable expenses, on the other hand, fluctuate from month to month. Utility bills, groceries, and fuel costs fall under this category. While they are necessary, there's usually a bit of wiggle room for adjustments. Finally, we have discretionary expenses. These are the fun ones. Eating out, entertainment, vacations, and hobbies fall under this category. While enjoyable, these are the expenses that can typically be adjusted, reduced, or even eliminated to help balance your budget. Now, how do we track these expenses effectively? Well, there's no one-size-fits-all answer to this. Some people prefer the traditional pen and paper approach, others might opt for a spreadsheet, and then there are those who prefer using a budgeting app. The key is to find a method that works best for you. Start by recording every single expense, no matter how small. That coffee you grabbed on your way to work? It counts. The magazine you bought at the checkout line? Yep, that too. You'll be surprised at how quickly these small purchases can add up. Regularly review your tracking. This not only gives you a clear picture of your spending habits, but also helps identify areas where you can potentially make savings. Remember, budgeting is not about restricting your spending. It's about understanding and managing your money better so you can achieve your financial goals. Remember, every dollar counts. Keeping track of your expenses is key to creating a successful budget. Now that you know where your money is coming from and where it's going, it's time to decide what you want it to do for you. Setting financial goals is crucial. Why? Well, consider this. Would you board a ship without a destination? Of course not. Similarly, your money needs a destination too, a purpose. Without clear financial goals, your money is like a ship lost at sea. So, how to set effective financial goals? Let's dive into SMART goals. SMART stands for specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. First, your financial goals should be specific. Want to buy a house? Great. But what kind of house? Where? By when? The more specific you are, the clearer your path will be. Next, measurable. You can't track what you can't measure. If your goal is to save a certain sum of money, break it down into monthly or even weekly savings targets. Achievable is the third element. Set goals that are challenging, yet realistic. Winning $1 billion lottery might be a dream, but is it a likely one? Probably not. Relevance is key too. Your financial goals should align with your life goals. If you're not planning to start a family soon, saving for a larger house might not be relevant. Finally, time-bound. When do you want to achieve your goal? Set a timeline. This creates a sense of urgency and keeps you motivated. With clear financial goals in place, you're ready to create your budget. Now comes the fun part, creating your budget. Alright, let's dive in. A popular and effective budgeting method is the 50-30-20 rule. It's as simple as pie, and don't worry, you don't need to be a math genius to get this. Imagine your income as a full pie. Yum. Now let's slice it up. 50% of your income goes towards your needs. This includes essentials like rent or mortgage, utilities, groceries, and transportation. In other words, the things you absolutely cannot do without. Now on to the next slice. 30% of your income goes towards your wants. This is the fun stuff, the cherry on top of your pie. These are things like dining out, entertainment, hobbies, and yes, that pair of shoes you've been eyeing for weeks. And finally, the last slice. 20% of your income should go towards savings or paying off debt. Think of this as your safety net, the crust of your pie that holds everything together. But here's the thing, and listen closely because this is crucial. Your budget isn't set in stone. It's more like a squishy stress ball that you can squeeze and mold to fit your needs. Maybe one month you have a higher than usual expense, like a car repair, or perhaps you receive a bonus at work. Your budget should flex and change with these circumstances. The 50-30-20 rule is a guideline, not a strict law. And remember, it's okay to adjust your budget as you go. Maybe you realize you're spending too much on takeout and not enough on groceries. Or perhaps you find you're not saving as much as you'd like. That's okay, your budget is there to serve you, not the other way around. Voila, you've just created your budget. But remember, a budget is a living document. It needs regular review and adjustments. Don't worry, you're not alone in this. We're here to guide you every step of the way. So keep tuning in and let's continue building wealth together. Having a budget is one thing, but sticking to it is another. It's like going on a diet. You can have all the meal plans in the world, but if you don't stick to them, you're not going to see any results. The same applies to your budget. You've done the hard work of creating it. Now let's talk about how to make it work for you. One of the best ways to stick to your budget is to automate your savings. This is the financial equivalent of out of sight, out of mind. By setting up automatic transfers, you're saving without even thinking about it. It's a small change that can have a big impact. And the best part is, it's easy to set up. Most banks offer this feature and it's usually as simple as a few clicks. Next, let's talk about impulse purchases. We've all been there. You're browsing online or walking through a store and something catches your eye. Before you know it, you've bought something you didn't plan for. These unplanned purchases can quickly derail your budget. So, how do you avoid them? One strategy is to implement a waiting period. If you see something you want, wait 24 hours before making the purchase. This gives you time to think about whether you really need it, and often, you'll find the impulse to buy has passed. Finally, make a habit of regularly reviewing your budget. This isn't a set-it-and-forget-it situation. Your income and expenses can fluctuate, and your budget needs to reflect these changes. By checking in on your budget regularly, you can make adjustments as necessary and keep yourself on track. Sticking to a budget isn't always easy, but with these strategies, it can be manageable. Remember, the goal isn't perfection, it's progress. Each day you stick to your budget is a step closer to your financial goals. Stick to your budget, and you'll see your financial goals becoming a reality. It's not just a saying, it's a proven strategy that works. So let's get to it. So, there you have it. A step-by-step guide to creating a budget that works for you. We've journeyed together through understanding your income, tracking your expenses, setting financial goals, and finally, creating and sticking to your budget. It's clear that effective budgeting is the backbone of financial management and the pathway to achieving your financial goals. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more practical tips on building wealth. Remember, managing your money doesn't have to be a struggle. You've got this.